This is an investigative breakdown of the geopolitical mechanisms that disrupted international sports officiating in 2026. August 12, 2026, Salzburg, Austria. A 34-year-old referee steps onto the pristine pitch of the Red Bull Arena to officiate the UEFA Super Cup between Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa. But exactly 67 days prior, on June 6th, this exact same man was locked inside a holding cell at Miami International Airport, facing immediate deportation. He lost his place as the first Somali referee at a men's FIFA World Cup, a historic title that can never be recovered. The 2026 tournament, an unprecedented spectacle projected to reach 6 billion viewers across 104 matches, started entirely without him. This catastrophic border incident triggers three massive questions. What did the White House actually mean when they accused him of communicating with very bad people? Why did European football executives instantly do something that FIFA flatly refused to do? And what was inside his diplomatic passport that made border agents ignore it completely? The man at the center of this geopolitical storm is Omar Artan. Born in Mogadishu in 1992, he emerged from a nation that spent decades navigating civil conflict and severe instability. Despite limited sports infrastructure, Artan climbed the absolute highest ranks of international football. He earned his official FIFA referee badge in 2018. He officiated the January 2024 Africa Cup of Nations Group E match between Tunisia and Namibia. He took charge of the 2025 CAF Champions League final second leg in Cairo between Pyramids FC and Mamelodi Sundowns. In 2025, the Confederation of African Football officially crowned him the best male referee on the entire continent. When FIFA announced its final roster for the 2026 World Cup, Artan was one of just 52 referees selected from around the globe. This was the ultimate validation of a lifelong dream, placing the credibility of African officiating squarely on the global stage. He possessed a valid United States visa. He carried his official FIFA accreditation. He held a diplomatic passport carefully processed by the Somali embassy in Kenya. But none of it would matter at Miami International Airport. On June 6, 2026, the promise of a unified global tournament violently collided with uncompromising United States border policy. Artan boarded a flight from Istanbul to Miami, expecting to join the mandatory FIFA training camp for match officials. Upon arrival, United States Customs and Border Protection agents intercepted him. What was supposed to be a routine entry scan devolved into an agonizing 11-hour interrogation. The border agents did not ask him about his years officiating AFCON tournaments, CAF Champions League finals, and FIFA U20 World Cup matches. Instead, they exhaustively questioned him about the complex political situation in Somalia and pressed him aggressively on alleged links to a designated extremist organization operating in the Horn of Africa. Artan repeatedly denied any knowledge of the militant group. He presented his official FIFA credentials, his diplomatic passport, and photographs documenting his decade-long career. The agents ignored the evidence, placed him in a holding cell for several more hours, and officially denied him entry. He was forced onto a return flight to Istanbul, completely shattered. The human cost was devastating. The 34-year-old was stripped of his career pinnacle simply because of his nationality, losing out on a global stage he earned entirely on merit. The official statement from border authorities cited vague vetting concerns, but the political rhetoric quickly escalated into a media firestorm. Andrew Giuliani, the son of former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani and the executive director of the White House's World Cup Task Force, went on national television. Giuliani made a staggering claim. Artan was talking to some very bad people right as he was coming to the United States. When journalists demanded proof, Giuliani flatly refused to provide any, stating the information was classified. He claimed the communications happened immediately before the trip, but offered zero corroborating evidence. The context is inescapable. Somalia is one of 39 countries subjected to a sweeping travel ban reinstated by the Trump administration on December 16, 2025. While the ban contained theoretical exemptions for World Cup athletes and officials, the reality on the ground proved completely different. As the scandal erupted, fans demanded accountability from FIFA. Surely, the governing body that specifically selected Artan would defend his right to participate. Instead, FIFA completely abandoned him. The organization released a sterile, bureaucratic statement confirming that Artan was removed from the tournament, claiming that host governments ultimately determine who receives visas and who is admitted. When directly confronted by the media in Mexico City, FIFA President Gianni Infantino shockingly told fans and critics to chill and relax. He argued that FIFA could not dictate immigration policy to sovereign governments, reminding the press that we don't live on the moon. A man's life work was erased, and the most powerful executive in the sport demanded relaxation. If FIFA would not protect its own hand-picked elite officials, the entire integrity of the 2026 World Cup was fundamentally compromised, setting a dangerous precedent for every international participant. Within 24 hours of this global humiliation, the power dynamic of world football shifted entirely. While FIFA looked the other way, the Union of European Football Associations, UEFA, launched a calculated institutional strike. UEFA announced that in direct coordination with the Confederation of African Football, Omar Artan was officially appointed to referee the 2026 UEFA Super Cup. UEFA President Alexander Ceferin issued a pointed statement that stood in stark contrast to Infantino's cowardly silence. Ceferin praised Artan as an excellent and experienced official, explicitly stating that football is made to connect people. He added that UEFA wanted to show respect for the outstanding skills that had earned Artan his World Cup nomination in the first place. CAF President Patrice Motsepe enthusiastically backed the move, calling it a great honor for African referees worldwide and thanking Ceferin personally. On June 10, 2026, Artan landed back in Mogadishu, Somalia. He did not return in shame or quiet disgrace. He received an absolute hero's welcome. Thousands of passionate supporters, government officials, and sports executives packed the airport and a local stadium to greet him. The crowd draped him in the sky-blue Somali flag, lifting him onto their shoulders while singing songs of praise. Showing remarkable composure in the face of injustice, Artan told the crowd, "What happened has happened, and it was fate." He vowed to never give up and promised to reach the 2030 World Cup. In a desperate attempt at financial damage control, FIFA quietly agreed to pay Artan his full World Cup tournament fee despite his absence. But money cannot buy back history, nor can it erase the institutional stain left on the tournament. By the time the opening whistle blew, all three mysteries had resolved themselves with brutal clarity. The "very bad people" accusation remained an entirely unproven political talking point designed to justify a discriminatory ban. UEFA intervened precisely because FIFA's cowardice left a leadership vacuum they were eager to exploit, humiliating FIFA on the global stage. And the diplomatic passport meant absolutely nothing because the 39-country travel ban fundamentally overrode all football credentials. Europe handed Artan the ultimate revenge, proving that moral authority in football belongs to whoever is brave enough to exercise it. But the 2026 World Cup continues to unravel with a dark cloud hanging over its logistical operations. Omar Artan was denied entry. Iraqi striker Ayman Hussein was detained for 7 hours in Chicago. Senegalese players were subjected to humiliating searches on the tarmac, and the Iranian team was forced to relocate their base camp to Mexico while their fans had tickets revoked. As the games play out, the ultimate unanswered question remains: was the deportation of Africa's best referee truly a matter of national security, Or was it a purely political order designed to send a hostile message to the world?